You're listening to episode 24 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man. It's good to see you.
Dude, it is good to see you. Man, let's just jump into... Dude, today's bananas. Like, we came into the show today. We were like, hey, you know what? We're going to talk about...
Two things. It's all.
Because we thought, hey, we can go in depth a little bit on it and have it be, really focused and laser focused on these two things. A laser focusing on two things. Hey, we have two lasers, right? So we're going to do Dark Knight's Metal from DC Comics, which was, I don't know. I don't even know what Matt thinks yet, to be honest. We haven't even talked about it. We were going to do it.
Save it for the show.
That's what we tell each other. Save it for the show, is what we say. Save it for the show. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to, hey, let's talk about the Defenders, because we able to finish Defenders since that was pretty good. That was record time for me to be able to have it done
for you, man.
in like a week.
It usually
less than
takes a little longer, yeah.
Sometimes I'm like Jessicajones took me like 3 months. I don't know why.
Our friend DeLon, I don't think he's finished it yet.
DeLon, here's the thing with DeLon. DeLon has watched everything out of order. He's like, I'm going to watch Iron Fist first.
And then Jessica Jones,
like,
then
you haven't watched
Cage,
Daredevil yet?
Hey, what? Daredevil season 2?
Yeah, dude. just wait for 3, man. It's coming.
Just wait for the Punisher.
Yeah, spoilers.
You watch the Punisher.
So, but then actually, it started yesterday and then on to today. DC Comics or more like, actually not DC Comics.
Warner Brothers
/ DC Films / DCEU, whatever you want to call it. They just went off the charts, off the rails, bananas today, man. They literally are making a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie.
No one knows what's going on right now, dude.
That's what they're going to end up doing, because I'm lost, man. This right here.
Let's think about this. So we talked about Comic-Con not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
How many movies did they put up titles for there?
Yeah, they put up like 9 or something, but...
Yeah, like 9 titles,
but no
right?
release dates, nothing except...
But still, let's start
these.
there. They're like, hey, we're going to have these 9 movies that we at least have a general idea for a title card, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Well, think about it. Starting from there, and then you add the news from the last couple days.
So yesterday...
It just starts to get to bananas.
Yesterday is crazy, dude. So we're just jumping right here into the news, man. So yesterday's news, they announced this, I guess Todd Phillips, the guy who did The Hangover, is working with supposedly Martin Scorsese. That's not confirmed yet, they've said.
As a producer.
Yeah, as a producer. To do a origin film of, the early days of the Joker being involved in organized crime or something in the 80s. Now, on paper, that sounds kind of crazy. Kind of like, I'm interested just because of who's doing it. That being said, with the caveat of we already have this DCEU kind of trying to establish these characters, it makes no sense. I get there's a TV show, you have Gotham, which no one watches, or I like to call it Gotham. That show's on. People do watch it, but I'm saying I don't watch it. I could care less what's going on with that show. But like I said, there's a differentiation of that TV show and what's going on in the movies. They're not connected. To have Jared Leto's Joker running around, and there's more. We're going to talk about him later in a second. Then to do another movie, I feel like can confuse audiences. We're comic fans. I can pick up a Joker graphic novel and read it and be like, oh, okay, that was cool. That was interesting.
It's just a story.
Yeah, we
in
get
and of
it.
itself.
I don't know how people are going to deal with that. I don't know. It could be amazing and make $1 billion and be the next Logan. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on that?
About that one specifically?
Just on that. Not everything
on
yet.
that.
Just
I think it's interesting because that kind of starts us down the road of people making a big deal about this whole new thread or stream of movies from DC and Warner Brothers that's not connected technically to the DCEU. And I think that just starts to get a little mucky. That's going to be hard to, because the idea with this, at least what I've read, again, all of this is people reporting on it, nothing actually coming from Warner Brothers as far as I know. Right?
Yeah.
It's coming from somewhat reliable sources,
this was released through Deadline, and so Deadline's not it's not like some blogger page.
Yeah, it's not like clickbait or anything necessarily.
Yeah, it's an actual, it's an industry trade, and so.
But just to think in this, what I read was that this might be a thing where they're like, hey, we have our main DCEU movies, but then we're going to have these other ones that are kind of one-offs. Which sounds kind of like the thing that Star Wars is doing, but here's the problem. Star Wars...
But that's connected, though.
Star Wars, it's still connected, but it's all when they have the anthology movies, the one-offs, it's Star Wars though. Like they have trust built in that Warner Brothers still doesn't have, and it feels like they're trying to cash in on Wonder Woman when that's one hit out of
which just hit over
Do you know what I mean?
800 million.
Yeah, and it is a certifiable like success and hit, I would say. But it feels like they're like maybe getting a little too, if all of this is true, that all of these things are in development and are moving forward, I don't know. It makes me worried that they haven't shown a really great consistent track record yet to start adding on a bunch of extra stuff. Like I want to see them nail some like meat and potatoes kind of movies before they go off and do other stuff.
Yeah, it seems like a really weird idea, especially since the DCEU hasn't really, like you said, they haven't really had any major home runs. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Let's call it. It's had success. I mean, Batman vs Superman had almost $900 million. Suicide Squad, regardless of like what you thought about it, was like over $800 million, right?
Academy
Maybe it was Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. I think it was somewhere between $700 million, $800 million, whatever. So these movies are making money. So financially for the studio, it's making money. I think Batman vs Superman was the one that they were really hoping it'd hit $1 billion or something, but it didn't. So these movies are making, like, there's money being made with these films, but they haven't had a streak of like, dude, like Marvel, like, say what you want. Like they might be by the numbers on some of them, Doctor Strange, but people go see them and they'll see anything. They'll see Guardians of the Galaxy. They go see Ant-Man. Like the name is trusted. I don't think DC is trusted yet with the movies that they're making, and I say that as a huge DC fan. Like DC is like where most of I read DC.
And I would give a similar caveat. Like I want to see more DC stories.
Yeah,
I'm nervous. Like if they start pumping them out at this rate this quickly.
Yeah,
this soon in the game, like that makes me nervous that I don't want just quantity, like I want quality like stories because I like these characters a lot.
Yeah. Well, next year, all we got is Aquaman. 2018, that's it. Unless they're able to pop something else in there somehow, which I don't know how they're going to do it. So 2018 is Aquaman, and then 2019 is where we're going to really start seeing some of this stuff come out. So yeah. This whole new banner of unconnected films in the DC universe that's not connected is really weird. Now, the only thing, and I'm just thinking of this now, it could be a good way to do a little more like adult focused like stuff that they want to do, and they can do things like Swamp Thing. Maybe that's where they can do like Hellblazer. Or,
I mean, if they have like a different imprint, basically, you know what I mean? Like you had like a Vertigo, you had like a Young Animal, you have, or even
Young Animal would be a cool. Like they do Young Animal movies.
So good, dude. I would watch this current run of Doom Patrol. You put something like that on film, I would 100%.
Because Doom Patrol doesn't have to like hang out with the Justice League. It doesn't have to be something that does that. But anyway, it to me it just sounds a little like what are you guys saying? This whole week has just
even
been
if
bananas.
that stuff makes sense. I still think we're both on board. Like the timing of it just feels like weird.
Yeah, the timing sounds really weird. And the other side of it is like a Joker origin story. Like I don't really care about the Joker's origin.
I don't either. And I
like
don't
it being
care about
mysterious.
A movie that's just him and Harley Quinn either.
Okay, so let's move into that. So then today, there's been a bunch of back and forth. Actually, let's end on that. Let's talk about first this whole Matt Reeves stuff. So Matt Reeves was by the way, he said this about a month ago, and it just kind of got picked up by Batman on Film. Hey, reported that there was an interview done with the Hollywood Reporter, one of the girls there, and so what Matt Reeves was saying was, hold on here, let me pull it up here. So he says he has a vision for a way to do something with the character that feels like it resonates with me personally and a perspective that can grow into other things. When they approached me, what they said was, look, it's a standalone. It's not part of the extended universe. That could mean a whole bunch of things. It could mean that it's a standalone movie in the Justice League universe, not meaning kind of like Wonder Woman was standalone. It didn't, I mean, it's connected, but
it's
it wasn't
definitely
like
connected.
There was a little bit of Bruce Wayne connection in there, but it wasn't like, hey, the Flash is going to be in there hanging out in the Batcave.
Right.
We don't know right now. We just don't know. And there's also like even...
It seems like there's not enough there to read into it the way that people are.
Well, there's
honestly.
There's a lot being read into it. And even
because
later
if
on
it's
today...
not connected, then is that the out for Ben Affleck? I feel like
Maybe.
that's what people are drawing conclusions to. And I'm like, man, like, I don't know. I just don't like to spend a ton of time on stuff that we don't have information on.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's what's blowing up today. It's been like that. Affleck's in, Affleck's out, which has been for the last few months. Affleck's in. We don't know until freaking he is out. But it is suspect. Like, if he is out, wait till after Justice League. Because then it feels kind of weird. Like, well, why even invest into this Batman character if he's not going to be the same guy?
Yeah.
Feels weird. So, okay.
I don't know.
So,
it was fine in the past when we had 3 different guys playing Batman.
Yeah, but it was a different world. Like, we didn't have the internet to, like, blow up. Like, what? It was kind of like, oh, another Batman movie? Different guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's the main thing for me. Like, even in this, like, I know we have a few more to talk about, but the thing that I keep thinking about is just, I actually don't want to know about all this stuff this early in the process. Because, I mean, with the type of work that you and I do in our 9-to-5 lives, like, we're part of creative processes and stuff where tons of ideas get started and the majority of them don't end up going anywhere.
You may buy hats. you may get a bunch of hats
and
made.
buy a ton of merchandise and then it gets changed at the last minute. And stuff like that happens. And so I think that's been my biggest frustration the last day or two is like, I don't want to know about all these possible ideas that are happening. Like, I'm not interested in that as much as like what's actually being started, what's actually being worked on. Like, I don't want to know about the Joker and what's going on with him or the Batman movie or any of those things like that haven't even fully started, you know what I mean, into production or really moved forward development wise. Because I want to know who's directing the Flash movie that's been on the docket for a few years. Do you have, like, can we just address the things that are already supposed to be worked on? I think is how I feel about it. And I think a large majority of that we've talked about on the show before is just the nature of social media and the internet and how it's used right now. And it's like, we get to see every single minute step in the process. Yeah. And it's like, man, I don't need to know all that. 'Cause I'm sure a lot of this same stuff and these amount of ideas have happened in the past and we just weren't privy to it and part of the process.
Oh yeah. I mean, so if you go back
I'm okay
to
with that.
Like even a movie like Batman 89, like they were writing that movie as they made it, you know?
Yeah.
And if we had the internet, it's just
I mean, and a lot of people are using this to like kind of prop up Marvel again as like the only way to do things. And I'm not about that either. And I think it's
Marvel has a plan.
It's kind of naive though to think like they wouldn't have like other ideas that they were like, hey, maybe we should do this, and then it didn't end up working out. Yeah, because they had to have. Yeah, but we just haven't heard about it.
They don't have somebody who's leading the way there. That's the thing
at DC.
Yeah, and
DC,
Warner Brothers,
DC Films.
Yeah. They kind of have Jeff Johns, but it doesn't feel like I would say if you announce something and say, hey, here's who's directing it, here's who's in it. We're filming now. Like all this, we think we might do this. Like The Rock's been Black Adam for like 4 years now when they did that announcement, but like hasn't shown up. And it's kind of like, I don't even care anymore. It was exciting at first. Like, what? He's going to be Black Adam? Now it's like, now he's doing Jumanji 2 or, you know, like like he does everything else. Like who else is The Rock going to be? The Rock's going to play President Reagan in a movie because why not? The Rock just does everything. But anyways, so moving on, we'll wrap up some of this DCEU, WTF stuff going on. So then the next thing that happens today, which is this, it's like, this has been like ball rolling. There's a dog who's very upset about this information right now, if you can hear him. He's pissed. He's like, dude. So today they announced, the Hollywood Reporter again says, hey, they're making a Joker and Harley Quinn film that is in the DCEU, and it's going to be by the people that do This Is Us on NBC, which I watch because it makes me cry, and they did the 2011 film Crazy Stupid Love. So this movie is for sure happening, but it's going to happen after Suicide Squad 2.
Which also supposedly...
Oh, man. So, man, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know.
And the funny thing is these guys have already done a movie called Crazy Stupid Love. They could just use that same title. Yep. And, you know, just apply it to Joker and Harley. You have Jared Leto as Steve Carell's character, Ryan Gosling's character.
Sure.
One of those.
There'll be 2 Jokers. We'll have a young one in his origin, and then Steve Carell can play the old one.
Oh my gosh. In the 80s. Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Now
Ryan Gosling is
see...
young, crazy Joker. Steve Carell is the Joker.
Emma Stone is young Harley Quinn.
Why not, dude? You heard it here first. Breaking news. So, okay.
You know what makes me not interested about those things?
What?
Those are my 2 least favorite characters in Suicide Squad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see more of Joker in Suicide Squad.
Nope.
They didn't give him enough.
I did not like that Joker.
I didn't like his tattoos.
I didn't like the breathing.
Hey.
Yeah, not really a fan. I liked that they were trying to do something different, but so for me, like coming off of something like Suicide Squad, where those weren't my favorite characters in the movie, I was like, it's like, hey, here's like several more movies with just them. Like, no. How about we work on getting kind of your main heroes up off the ground first, and then we can do that. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. So DC figured out, dude, and here's the thing. 2 days from now, they're going to be like, oh, that's not what we meant.
Ben Affleck's going to say, guys.
Ben Affleck's like, dude, I'm playing all the characters. He's all,
not only am I Batman now, but I will be Batman forever.
Yeah, Batman Forever 2, starring
Batman Forever 2.
starring Ben Affleck. They should just put all the Batmans together. Like, they can just create this giant DC multiverse. Michael Keaton's back.
Okay, what if this like offshoot stuff, again, the timing is horrible, but what if they use the Flash movie to introduce the multiverse?
Yep.
And then from there, they're like, hey, we have this freedom to kind of make whatever movies we want, and they can tie in or not.
I don't even care anymore.
I still think it's dumb.
Yeah.
As long as Superboy Prime shows up and punches the continuity in the face.
He's literally in the theater. Like, you sit in those,
punch
like,
the screen.
He punches the screen. You're like,
great.
what the heck's going on? And the screen, like, gets punched off, and it's Superboy Prime, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm a super dick. I'm going to punch the screen. It's going to change everything. And he just flies off. See you in 2 years. You're like, what the heck's going on? Anyways.
Oh, gosh.
All right. So let's forget that, and let's get into like what we love, what we truly love. Like, we love movies, but it's all rooted somewhere.
Our two things. What do we want to talk about? Our laser focus.
Laser focus.
Let's get our laser focus back.
Dark Knight's Metal. Hey, we are spoiling DC Dark Knight's Metal. We are spoiling this book. Dark Knight Metal. Dude, okay. Coolest thing. Did you know that Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo curated a DC Metal playlist on Spotify?
Nice.
And it's pretty cool. There's some stuff on there like, I wouldn't have put that on there, but overall.
And they also gave everyone like metal like nicknames too.
Yes.
In the credits at the beginning of the book.
Yeah. Which is really cool. I really want, there's a shirt. They have like it looks like a tour shirt. And it's basically like the cover that kind of has like a weird star. It's not a pentagram, but it almost looks like one.
Yeah, because it's 6 points, right?
Yeah. And then it's got on the back the tour dates, but it's all the
book releases.
It's the back part.
Nice.
That part. And so
the checklist.
They made like a heavy metal T-shirt, and it's really fun. And there's an ad for Batman and Harley Quinn, and not happening. No. Okay, so
how did you feel about this? I have thoughts already about this. Like, I feel like it's like a cold open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before the opening credits.
Yeah. I read people were like confused and upset. I read a lot of people were like, I don't know what was happening. I'm like, it was.
Yeah, we're just jumping in. That's the whole idea. Is you're just jumping in. It's cold open. I don't
need to know. We get it. They're on Warworld. There's Mongol, and Justice League. Their powers have been inhibited somehow, and it was pretty cool. And it was just a way to show the team. And I'm not caught up on Justice League right now. So it looks like Hal Jordan's back in. I do know that he wasn't in it, but who knows? I think they're just putting like, hey, we're putting our faces out there. And so it was cool, man. It was just cool seeing them fight robots. And it was just cool.
I did feel like, so I thought it was really cool. Mm-hmm. I did feel like it was kind of like false advertising a little bit, because they're like, hey guys, check out what the Justice League looks like in metal. Yeah. And it was the picture of them like looking like they're ready to like do some battle in the dark multiverse. Yeah. And you're like, oh, it's not that. It's a thing at the beginning. And then there was a big deal like, and they form a giant like mecha, and you're like, cool. Oh wait, that's also before the story actually starts too. So I think that like, I don't know, like in a way I kind of appreciate they kind of like just went for it right off the bat, just kind of went big and bold.
It's definitely crazy. Like I I loved it. I just didn't like what the mecha looked like. I thought the mecha looked stupid. I was like, come on, dude. There's enough like talented people at DC. They should have said, hey, there's one part in the story where we're going to have the whole Justice League like Voltron it up. Can you?
I thought the mecha was okay.
I did not like it. It looked terrible to me. Like the only part of it I thought looked cool was Cyborg's arm. Like even the Batman thing looked dumb. So being super critical, but
what's funny,
like
the panel that stuck out to me the most in that opening sequence, I was like, ooh, I like how it looks, is Batman like being like pulled into the mouth of like the one robot.
Yeah.
He's just going, no. I was like, dude, that's just a really cool looking
it was like
panel. I dig that.
Yeah.
And the reference to either we help him or he's going to need your old harpoon hand.
Yeah,
like that was reference cool. For Aquaman.
So then that happened. So
apparently that happened.
That still happened. Everything happened in the middle.
So it's funny. That
Aquaman's hair grows fast, by the way.
I know, right? I thought it was funny, like people talking about this scene specifically, talked about Batman being the head. Yeah. And in the book, it like kind of makes a point to talk about like Flash being the foot. Like, why do I have to be the foot?
Yeah.
Which I was rereading it today, and it just made me laugh because, like, why don't we make a bigger deal that Green Lantern is the crotch? It's just he is.
I noticed.
I was like, where did he? I'm like, I only see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be a 7th, and I was like, oh no, dude.
Yeah,
Green Lantern is the cod
usually
piece.
When you make those mechs, it's like a person of 5. It's a 5-person team or something like that, and so
I just think that's really funny. I don't know why they didn't make a bigger deal about that because
I would have
just really funny.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
Just like there he is. He's right. That's a weird place to be a mech.
Yeah, and it has like a little like orb like right there. If you notice, it's just like, hey, there's
it is
a little ball.
Like
Green Lantern, little ball.
Green Lantern.
That's such a small construct.
That's funny.
What's great about that panel too is the booyah from Cyborg too.
Cyborg.
I was like, that's the first time I've read in a long time that Cyborg has actually felt like Cyborg in the comics.
Well, it depends on who you think Cyborg is, because some people don't like that version of Cyborg.
Well, those people are wrong.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm there with you. So anyways, they get out. And then they end up back in Gotham, and there's a giant mountain there, and they're like, "What the heck happened?" And
which is Challenger's Mountain.
Yeah, which is cool. So Challengers of the Unknown are being pulled into this, and this is going to turn into some of that Dark Day stuff as well. That I think we talked about it a few episodes back.
Yeah,
that's
Dark Matter.
Dark Matter,
like that new line. It's going to be Challengers of the Unknown. Is Snyder writing that one?
Oh man, I don't know.
I feel like he is.
Probably.
Okay, what did you think about the Lady Blackhawk reveal?
Yeah, that was cool. Like,
I thought it was a way cool way to bring in Kendra Saunders.
Yeah, I like Kendra Saunders, and we haven't seen her since before Brightest Day. Because then she went the way of being a dead hawk, and then Shara came back.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of unclear how Kendra died, or did she just get absorbed into Shara? I'm not sure. But yeah, Kendra coming back.
The whole thing was confusing.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good that she's kind of been the leader of the the Blackhawks for a while, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you had the callback to like kind of the old stuff with the pictures.
Oh yeah, you have Red Tornado, you have the Metal Man in the background, you have the old 1980s 90s version of Starman.
Oh yeah,
the Will Payton Starman.
So you have Starman, you have the original Blackhawks, the original Blackhawk and Lady Blackhawk.
Yeah. And
that's Tio Morrow and
Professor
Magnus.
Ivo. Oh, Dr. Magnus. Yeah,
Dr. Magnus.
The guy who created the
Metalman, the guy who created Red Tornado, who apparently hasn't been around because no one knows who he is.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
So that's weird. Like, where's so Harpoon Hand happened, Red Tornado didn't happen. Okay, and then so this is the cool part, the Dark Multiverse. So they have the multiplicity like map that Grant Morrison put out.
Yes.
Which
that's cool. Did you ever finish reading that series?
Bro, I didn't read any of that.
Really? How did I read some of it?
I don't know, but I jumped out. I think when...
Did you get the first few issues?
No, like that's about...
Dude, I read someone's. I don't remember whose.
I read a Convergence issue because I was curious how things are all... They were like, things are going to start coming back. That's when they brought Superman from, pre-New 52 in through Convergence. Okay. So we'll do a little side note here. Like, remember, I dropped pretty much everything except Justice League and Batman.
Yeah. And I
right around issue 30 something. They did this like DC evil something.
Oh, Forever Evil.
Forever Evil.
I think I got covers. 1 or 2 of the like what are they called? Miniseries, like the Rogues Rebellion. I think I got a couple issues of that. But dude, once Francis Manapul wasn't doing the Flash anymore or Detective, and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, it was. I was like, forget this junk, dude.
So that map is rad. I forgot how cool that map is of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And I think referencing that specific one is kind of fun. And there's one detail on that page where they're talking through that, right? So you look in the middle of that page where they're, I think you need to go back to that, where it kind of shows a shot of them looking at it.
Boom. We haven't done this in a while.
I think it's interesting, dude. You have Dream and Nightmare are both realms that are viewable on the map.
Uh-huh.
Maybe a little foretelling of the end of the book.
Spoiler. Yeah. Oh, by the way, spoilers on this. So anyways, Red Tornado gets pissed off. He gets reawakened, and he's like, "You guys open the door!" And he starts spinning his hands, and like you see Batman. If you look at the bottom left of the top panel, Batman kind of sneaks off, and then the next thing you know, he's on a freaking dinosaur running through the Hawkman.
I didn't catch him running off. That's true.
Yeah, he just kind of runs off, and
I like that. Like, and I can promise you, it'll be something state of the art, and he's riding a freaking
dinosaur. He's riding a dinosaur. So it's so like.
So over the top.
It's over the top, but I
that
it
you know
works
what that
for me, man.
panel reminds me of is Purple Gloves Batman riding his motorcycle.
Oh, it probably
that's
is.
what that looks like, in a good way. Like it evokes like the same kind of vibe, which I was okay with. You were not.
Yeah, I was not okay.
So
with it.
I feel like the next page is something interesting to talk about, though.
Yeah. So with Dr. Fate and then the Plastic Man, Egg, and
is that Steel?
It's one of the Metal Man
irons.
No.
Is it one of the Metal Men?
Yeah, it's one of the Metal Men. I think it's.
Are you sure? Because he doesn't have the symbol on his forehead. I was thinking that too. I've been trying to research.
I don't think it's Steel. Maybe
everyone thinks it's Steel, and I didn't think it was Steel. I thought it was one of the Metal Men as well.
I think it's one of the Metal Men. I think it's Chrome or something.
Or Iron.
I don't know, man. We don't know. But you see the coming of the Dark Batmans or whatever coming.
The Dark Knights.
Yeah, the Dark
Knights.
There's a dark army coming. So it was cool to see. I like the idea of a dark multiverse because it's kind of similar to what's going on in the Flash with the dark Speed Force, right? There's like the So I don't know if that's gonna
that's
play
true.
into it or anything.
And like side note, that's actually been somewhat interesting story wise too in the Flash because it's so unpredictable and so different than his normal Speed Force powers. It's actually forcing him to like not use his powers as much. And so he's like walking places and having to like read through case files and stuff. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Slowing him down.
He's going to get him. So, okay. So now we're in the Batcave. We're probably skipping over a lot of stuff. We're in the Batcave and you see the new Batman symbol looking stupid on Batman's chest. I hate the new Batman symbol, by the way. FYI.
FYI DCEU.
If I was the editor of this book, I would put a little thing. I still hate the symbol. Note, Justin. There we go.
But you like how it has a yellow outline when it's burnt into the floor?
What? When it's burnt into the floor?
The symbol shows up on the floor of the mansion, and it's outlined in yellow, just like on his costume. See?
Yep.
Maybe that's why they did that. It all comes together, man.
Yeah, possibly, man. I don't know. So, anyways, he gets the journal of like Carter Hall, which is cool. I'm interested in how they're going to bring Hawkman back. And then last page, freaking Dream from the Endless from the Sandman comics. So how
do you know any stuff about him? I'm not familiar with those stories like at all. So I know for a lot of people that last page was like, whoa.
Well, they spoiled it, by the way. They spoiled it like a week before or something like that. But
we're like major like mainstream news places are like, hey, look at the last page of this book.
Yeah. So if you go on our Facebook page, there was a conversation going back and forth on the Let's Go podcast, which you can just whatever. All the podcasts are on there, but we were talking about the DC Metal deal, and it was for me like I know who he is, from the Endless and all this stuff and the Sandman stuff. And I feel like he did a cameo a long time ago in a Grant Morrison Justice League.
Yeah, Grant Morrison Justice League.
Long time ago. But
he played a part in that.
Yeah, a long time ago. So I wonder if it'll tie back into any of that stuff. But yeah. So Alicia and Frankie, were commenting about it, and she was really pumped on like Sandman, Dream from the Sandman, comics is going to show up. And for me, it was just cool that he showed up, like, because I understand like he doesn't just pop up and stuff. So for him to be able to be a part, like you got to talk to Neil Gaiman and be like, hey man, like, can we use him?
It's a pretty big deal, and you're kind of breaking down that wall for a minute between the main DCEU imprint and Vertigo.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. Like, just having that, it kind of gives it a little more like, oh, dang, this is going to get crazy. Like, if this is just the first issue, it's going to...
I was definitely... it's a good sign. Like, when you finish a book and you're like, wait, when does the next one come out?
Yeah.
Like, I immediately looked up how long I had to wait till the next issue, because I was like, I want more of this.
Is every issue going to be $5?
No.
Okay.
Every issue after this one is going to be $2.99.
Oh, okay. There we go. Hey, okay. Because I was like...
They actually made a big deal that because, like, of all the stuff they're doing, they're like, no, this stuff's going to be $2.99.
All right, because here's the one thing. Last week was a big week for me. Again, I had 2 big weeks in a row, and I'm like, what the freaking heck, dude? Like, even today, I only got 2 things, and it was like $10.
What? What did you get today?
I don't know. Well, I got Commandy, like, issue 8.
Okay.
I think it was 8 or 7 or 8. I think it was 8. And Daredevil, which I said I was going to drop, but I didn't. I was like, oh man, the cover looked good, and the story's still cool. I'm
that cover was really cool.
And I'm off this Defenders high, and so I'm like, I'm kidding.
So here's interesting thing too. If we want to go back a couple pages before the end, so we have the humming of the tuning fork of that.
The nth metal.
No, with the anti-monitor like tuning fork thing.
Wait, where's that?
The multiversal tuning fork. So you have like this humming that they're talking about, and so I think that's interesting. You have the tuning fork. It's coming from upstairs. It's like, well, okay, he has that there somehow. And then you have the next panel. It talks about Barbados having been after its target since the dawn of man. It first saw him in a final moment of crisis.
Dun, dun, dun.
Final crisis, which sent Batman back in time to the beginning of time, and he was kind of making his way back through. And we found out one of the things that was chasing him was, do you remember, Justin?
No.
Barbados.
Oh.
The Return of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And that's where Simon Hurt got his powers from. And it was Final Crisis that started that whole thing off and sent Batman back.
Wow. Okay. So
there's a connection between Barbados and Batman to where I'm wondering how much of Batman, is that going to factor in? Batman going back in time to the Stone Age? Like, is he going to be one of the people that sets this stuff up?
Well, that reminded me of like when he was like, wasn't it Bruce Wayne that was carving the symbols on the wall in the caves?
Yeah.
Okay. So
now I want to go back and read some of those.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, some of I'll have to dig them. I'm actually going through my comics. I'm logging them. I think we'll talk about this later, but like using that website, it was Stash My Comics. Pretty cool site. Anyways, so yeah, some of that stuff was
that whole series was real weird.
So
you had the wolf, the bear, and the bat.
So wolf is the Vandal Savage tribe.
I thought he was bear.
No, bear is Immortal Man.
Okay.
And bird is the Hawks.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have that tie is kind of interesting in the fact that Barbados is the one coming through, and that Wayne, the Waynes are like the means of him coming back. I thought that was interesting. And then that third panel in that same page is you have a clock close up, which is probably a little bit of a Watchmen reference again.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy how that's all going to tie in. So it was cool. So the Toy Man was in it. And I kind of like how they're like, he gave us a clue, like with the whole, like, Batman's like, trust me. Sometimes I'm like,
it
Batman.
felt like Batman 66.
Yeah.
And this means this, which probably means.
Well, sometimes you're like, hey, Batman, before I let this thing eat me, tell me what the heck's going on. Now, after it ate him, he's like, fulcrum abominis. It defies the order of things, da-da-da-da, formation. Anyways, it was kind of cool that I liked this version of the Toyman, and he exists in the Superman Batman comics. So where
he made
those two giant mechs and stuff.
Yeah, the giant Superman Batman combo
those looked
robot,
way cool too. And so yeah, Challengers Mountain, the Hawks, and so part of I'm really excited for the Hawkman one shot they're gonna do, because I'm hoping they kind of talk about like Hawkman's mission and stuff, and because they just killed him, which I love Hawkman, but I didn't read anything about Hawkman because I was just like, what are they doing with Hawkman? The death of Hawkman doesn't make. I don't want to jump in on that. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if
it seems like this is completely. This seems like it's separate. Like that was a different Hawkman.
Really? Well, Hawkman's always the same. He's the same guy. He just reincarnates. So
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
This other guy disappeared a long time ago. So that wasn't him that died. So I wanted to ask you about, because I know with the two preludes coming into this, Dark Days, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of what kept us from giving it a full gung-ho, like, it's amazing, was the art. Yeah. So how did you feel the art was on this issue?
I like Greg Capullo. Some of it felt weird, to be honest. Like some of it felt a little, I don't know if it's rushed, or I feel like when he did, was it Endgame in Batman, when he had the Justice League in it where Batman was going up against everybody, I think I liked how he illustrated them better there. It seems a little rushed here. Like his Superman feels weird to me.
I just felt like I noticed, especially in that opening sequence, I was mostly attributing it to the inks. The inks just felt really weird to me. Almost, and it not even like weird as in like it doesn't look good, but that it just felt out of style for what I usually see with Capullo. Yeah. So I need to look it up. I don't know if this is usually the same guy that inks for him or someone different, because it reminds me more of like the Frank Quietly, Gary Frank. Like some of the panels have more of that vibe for me.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Glapion. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with this guy who's inking them, but
then that is literally the first 2 pages is what that makes me think of, or like not the first 2, page 2 and 3, but then you get to page 4, and you're like, all of a sudden it looks cleaner. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting. Like that really stuck out to me. Where I was like, whoa, that's kind of supposed to be an epic panel. That first, shot of the Justice League. Yeah. But it looks a little squirrely as far as like the cleanliness of the lines and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be metal and junky. You know what stuck out to me? This stupid Green Lantern and Colonel Sanders.
The ad.
It just looks so bad. It just looks terrible. Like, who wants to read that? In brightest day and blackest night, the Colonel finds his greatest fight. The Kentucky Fried Chicken saga continues. Maybe they'll make a movie of that. The Kentucky Fried Chicken saga. And you know what? Rob Lowe can play the Colonel because he's already doing it in the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, is that who's doing it now?
Yeah, he's the freaking Colonel, dude.
Okay,
so there you go.
I mean, that was the main thing that stuck out for me for the art, because really the rest of the book is fine, and I appreciate that it feels consistent for the most part. I don't feel jarred.
Yeah, no, for
as
sure.
I'm switching through things.
Like, there's the page where like Kendra Saunders is, brought back, and she looks really good. Like the way they drew her. I mean, like she looks really pretty. Like they intentionally, I feel like, made you like, ooh, she. Yeah,
it's like they have really that. In black and white movies, they would have the lighting like right on the woman's eyes. Yeah. On her face, like it literally looks like that, where there's like this like kind of mini spotlight just highlighting her eyes.
Yeah, like because I feel like Wonder Woman doesn't get that look on her in this book. Like in the shots, I mean, she's Wonder Woman, she's in there, but the attention to making sure she's beautiful, not there. And they really made, Kendra pop off that page. So anyways, yeah, overall.
Agreed.
Overall, man. So
overall, really good. man. I dug it.
So we can give it our gotta goes and let's goes and whatever, but you also have to rate it with a heavy metal band.
I think I'm out of my depth here, man.
Oh, but you just got at least try. You gotta try.
No, because this is your area of expertise,
my
my friend.
Oh man. Okay, fine. I will. Whatever your rating is, I'll give it a heavy metal band attributed to your rating. So
All right, I'm gonna give it a let's go.
a let's go.
It wasn't like perfect for me, but it was really good.
Okay. So yours is really, you just gave them a Guns N' Roses. It's good. It's not always perfect. They might show up late for a show. And
A little dirty sometimes.
yeah, and they might like come back 20 years later and not be what you wanted them to be. But then in the end, you still want to listen to their record. At least 3 of them. So, all right. So let's go. You got to let's go. For me, it's a let's go as well. It's not a gotta go yet because
Yeah, I don't know about you. I want to see where it goes.
Yeah, I just want to see where it goes. Like overall, the whole series could be a gotta go. Right now, it just feels like, okay, I'm ready. I'm not out. I'm still in. I want to see what happens. It was fun. It definitely was like a fun comic to read. So out there from like when you think about when I think about Batman, I'm like, year one. This is the same guy. You know, in my brain, he's the same guy.
Here's the thing for me, like that keeps it from a gotta go. I was just thinking about this, is that it feels like with having 2 issues as a prelude to this, I don't feel like I should feel like pieces are still being put into place.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're still setting things up where I'm like, man, like I would have loved for those few moments we get where it feels like stuff kind of kicks into action and moves forward. Those aren't the norm in this issue specifically.
Yeah.
Still solid. I'm not mad that I read it.
Yeah, I definitely think if you like something fun and that costs $5, go pick it up because it's definitely $5, man. And you know that one hurt a little bit, but I was excited to get it. I mean, this was a book that it took me. I couldn't get it till Friday. Like I was so busy. I was like,
and you
I hope
still
they
got
still
a better
had it.
cover than I did.
I still got a better cover. Yeah, I got the. Okay, so off air, Matt Ritchie explained something amazing to me. We're talking about covers. He ended up getting a cover.
I got
That's the Jim Lee
covers just so I can get the book. I didn't have the option of a better cover. So the Jim Lee variant, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not a bad cover.
It's Wonder Woman, and she is in her War World look, right? And so I think it's a good cover. And so I got the Greg Capullo cover where everyone's kind of in the dark, right? So I'm showing Matt the cover, and he's like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, you know what that is, right? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's straight up heavy metal horns, dude. Like, it's all the Justice League.
Is in the shape of heavy metal horns.
Yeah. And then, like, they're, like, fighting. Looks like they're going against Aquaman or something. So I was just hung up on that. I was like, why are they fighting Aquaman?
Oh, because Aquaman wasn't there and you just had the
just the trident.
That's it.
And so now I'm like, okay, I see it now. So it's pretty cool. I thought they did a good job with that now that I see it. So good job, Matt Ritchie.
Thanks, man. I attribute that to Twitter. I'm
You're
not
way
even
more
take the credit for that.
You're way more metal than me, dude.
I actually thought it was kind of a weird looking cover at first. I was like, man, that's really sparse and that's a really weird layout to have the Justice League standing in.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed it out and I was like, oh, actually that makes sense and I dig it.
It would have been funny if they messed up and they just did the I love you.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I actually want to change that. I wonder if I can throw Batman's arm out.
Like make Batman stick out to the side.
They should have done one of those like fold out covers where you open it up and it's like it's a different thing underneath it. Or one of those like the hologram covers that they did for
the lenticular ones.
Yeah, lenticular. It could have been like Batman's arm. I love you. Metal. I love you. I love metal.
All right, so it's a let's go for Dark Knight's Metal #1.
There we go.
And Justin, how excited are you to get more books that are tied into metal coming out of this?
So it's a good question because there's a lot, man, and I don't know how.
There's a lot. I feel like they said there wasn't going to be, and now there is, but maybe they were upfront.
I think there's a lot of tie-ins. So I definitely am going to get the Hawkman one.
You'll get the main book.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Hawkman one. And if I'm reading a book, like I'm going to get Hawkman Found. And I'm definitely going to get, the main ones.
What about the individual Dark Knights, like one-shots like Batman the Red Death, Batman the Murder Machine.
Murder Machine I'm going to get because that just sounds awesome. Batman the Murder Machine.
I want to get the Red Death because that's basically
the Phantom of the Opera.
The Flash
is
kind of one. Yes, that's the Red Death.
Okay, so they're based on...
Usually these are based... So the Murder Machine looks like a combination of Superman and Cyborg.
Huh. Cool.
And then you have the Dawnbreaker. We talked about how lame that name sounds before. That's the Green Lantern.
Dawnbreaker would be a way better name than the Signal.
Batman.
Dawnbreaker.
Batman the Drowned. So that's the Aquaman
guy.
one. So Batman the Merciless just found out recently.
Is that Wonder Woman?
I think so. He looks kind of like Ares.
Okay.
In that one. So that one I found out is actually being drawn by Francis Manapul because I follow him on social media and he's like, yeah, I'm doing this book called Batman the Merciless. And I was like,
Heck yeah.
hell yeah. But it's Gleason and...
Patrick Gleason in Dog Monkey?
No.
Peter Tomasi.
Yeah.
Yes. Tomasi, sorry.
Is writing it.
Then I'll probably get that.
So that one looks
probably
rad.
that one.
That's the Merciless. And then Batman the Devastator, which I believe that's a... Dude, I'm the worst comic book fan right now. Doomsday. Wow. It looks like Doomsday, basically.
Okay.
And then you have Batman, the Batman Who Laughs. And
that one looks crazy.
The stuff
the
they
pictures,
released,
the Robins and stuff.
That looks crazy.
Yeah, I think I'll get that one. Part of me is like, maybe I won't get that. They're probably going to release it in some big heavy metal like box at the end, like a box set of something, which could be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the same idea of like trade waiting, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, and I trade, you made it sound bad.
No, sorry. And I needed. You're such a trade waiter.
Just called me a trade waiter, dude. Wow, dude. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Not even a real man, just trade waiter.
Trade waiter.
Yeah, dude. Dark Knights is gonna be going through February.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's gonna come fat, dude. By that time, we'll have watched Justice League and
Thor Ragnarok
and Star Wars, and we'd have been like, DC Universe is over.
Maybe probably The Punisher will have been out on Netflix already.
Yeah,
dude, all sorts of stuff will have happened by then. Doomsday Clock will be probably like 3 or 4 issues in. Man, that's lots of stuff. Man.
Doomsday Clock. I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited for that as well.
All right. Anyways,
so
Dark Knight Metal.
Let's go.
Go check it out. So it's been cool. We're getting into that. Okay. All right. So other things that have been awesome, dude, is, well, maybe, I don't know what you feel about the Defenders.
You don't even know if it's awesome yet.
Dude, he's a blank check, and I just showed him everything I got, dude. I was like, everything in my wallet is right here. I thought this was awesome. So the Defenders came out last week, and we finished it. And what are your thoughts, dude? What do you think? What are your overall thoughts? We're gonna spoil, but we won't get into spoilers yet.
Yeah, I would say overall thoughts. I would say it's a let's go.
Yeah. Oh wow, Let's go, huh? Yeah, I would say I would agree. It's a let's go. It's not a gotta go at all, but
no, and it was almost on the verge of a go at times for me.
Yeah, it was slow going for me.
Here's overall thoughts of like Netflix, Marvel shows in general.
Mm-hmm.
They struggle with pacing.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, and I feel like this one is no different, even though they cut down. And that's what is kind of interesting to me, is they cut down to what I think the number of episodes should probably be for all of the shows.
8.
Mm-hmm. From 13.
Yeah. This one could have been 6, to be honest.
That's what I was going to say. Like the fact that they cut it down so much and still had times where they were treading water, or had people go do things and then come back to the exact same spot that they left off on the episode before. Like stuff like that for me, like it made me wonder, like, do they really have a story they're excited to tell, or they just needed to make this show happen and make all these people get together?
It feels like that a little bit.
But the moments along the way, I think, is what made it worthwhile for me. The character interactions. Yeah. So that's my overall thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, I really liked it. A few things stood out. I felt like Iron Fist wasn't as bad. And I was really focusing on Iron Fist because it starts out with Iron Fist, running through like some catacombs. And where was he in again? He was in...
Was he in Cambodia?
Cambodia or something, yeah. And he fights Elektra in the sewers or wherever he's at. And At first, I was like, "Oh gosh, we're starting off. Why would we
The
start
way
off with Iron Fist?"
those quick cuts definitely helped him out a little more. On
That's
the
what I was
show.
gonna say. Like there was a lot of shadowy fighting.
They went the Christian Bale route on
They
that
did.
one.
They did go the Christian Bale route. Except the punches actually landed. Oh dang!
People
Dark
weren't
Knight
falling
Rises.
down by themselves.
There's my Dark Knight Rises reference this episode. Boom! People weren't falling down on the ground with Batman's invisible force punches. So, yeah, I thought he was good. I don't think he was great. There were still times I'm like, man, and it's more how they're like writing the character of Danny Rand, maybe
Sure.
Because there was a whole point when he's on the plane, and in my head I was reading it how I read Danny Rand, like in the current, well, not current anymore, but the Power Man Iron Fist comic, how he kind of had a little bit of fun. And I almost have the voice from the guy Greg Cripes, who does his voice on Ultimate Spider-Man and whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of have that.
He's Michelangelo on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well.
And then I started thinking, they should just cast that fool as Iron Fist. He's a fit dude. If you've ever seen him, he looks fit and like he looks more cut up than even Finn Jones dude.
Yeah.
I was like, anyway, so I was reading it with like, he could have said those same things with a little more like energy and like positivity. Like I feel like Iron Fist is always a little more positive. Like, oh, come on, man.
It was both sides of it, man.
Yeah.
It was the writing and it was the delivery.
Yeah. So the only time in the show, I guess, just going into it, where I felt like he was who he was episode 4 when he was eating food. I was like, okay, that's him. There you are.
That felt like Danny.
That felt like Danny Rand.
That interaction with him and Luke felt like the most natural interaction for them.
Yeah.
As well, because I think the interaction before and then the interaction after, both of those didn't quite feel completely natural to where them sitting around eating Chinese food with each other, like that felt like Danny and Luke.
Yeah.
And what their relationship usually is. Yeah, I would say he improved as well. But honestly, like I don't know what it is that's like holding it back. I mean, it could be writing, could be him. Because you think about like the writing, if you take like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and their interactions and stuff, were really great.
Yeah.
Like really well done.
Yeah.
And that might be they're the strongest actors. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe that's what it is, and the writing's just as good for everybody, but they're just better at delivery than Finn Jones and Mike Coulter, right?
Yeah, Mike Coulter played Luke.
Yeah, so I mean,
I actually think all the acting
like
was pretty good across the board on the show.
There were definitely
but you
improvements,
are right.
I would say, but I don't think he's there. Like, I'm telling you, Iron Fist should be like, if you're considered a living weapon, and everyone is still clowning you the entire show, like, come on, man.
But when they did show what his fist can do, it was always awesome. Like when he clocked Luke Cage, when he beat up all those ninjas, like every time
when he punched Elektra's sword.
Yeah, that was cool. So I was like, man, have they been saving this, or did they know, like, man, we really like lamed it up on his series, and we're gonna. So his haircut helped him out too. Like he didn't have homeless Justin Timberlake look. He was definitely like overall. I think he was better. Was he where he should be? No, but I'm willing to forgive. And hey, I'm looking forward to Iron Fist 2. Dude, they said that Iron Fist had a higher rating than Stranger Things.
What?
Yeah. They
That's
said
weird.
more people watched Iron Fist than Stranger Things.
I don't know, man. So the fighting was better. I think you can tell that like this came after his experience doing season 1.
Yeah.
But then I was actually encouraged. I saw a thing today where they haven't even said when they're going to start shooting Iron Fist season 2 yet.
Yeah.
And he's going to start training next week.
Good. That's good.
So I'm like, good. Thank you. I just want it to be believable.
Here's the thing. I'm rooting for Finn Jones. I will root for the underdog. I want him to do well. I don't want them to recast, and I don't want them to do something dumb like, there's another Iron Fist. Like, just do some push-ups, dude. Figure out, like, get a little more lean.
Figure something out.
And get your choreography done, and then get a costume.
Yeah.
And that way...
I shouldn't be more impressed with Daredevil's martial arts than Iron Fist's.
Dude.
That's what I feel like. And every time
Daredevil's martial arts were always way awesome.
So good, dude. Like the choreography for him was just bananas. And here's another part for him. Like I loved that aspect of it. Mm-hmm. I didn't like that it took like 5 episodes to like get him back in the game, basically. I'm like, that's lame to me. That's almost to like Dark Knight Rises kind of vibe, where it's like, seriously, he's just gonna, no, we need to like coax him and talk to him about it a bunch, because he's gonna sit there and cry about it.
Yep.
And again, like, that's because he's a superhero and it's a fictional New York, not because it's the real world.
Yeah.
Of course, if it's a real world, like, someone that could totally keep someone from wanting to do anything ever again. But he's Daredevil. Like, I don't want to see a bunch of stuff trying to convince him to get back into the game.
Yeah.
So
I think
that was my thing.
Yeah, I think, but
that's a minor,
because it set up
though.
the end of it. I mean, if you think about it, that whole thing sets up.
Sorry,
Matt
I just rolled my eyes so hard, because here's the thing, guys.
Because you know
when
why?
you announce,
trade
when you
waiter.
announce, I'm not a trade waiter. You're a trade waiter. When you announce that a character has a movie or a sequel or another season coming, don't end a show before
Spoilers.
that. We already said spoilers.
Yeah, did we?
We already
Okay.
said spoilers.
All right, cool. Just making sure.
Don't end a show with that character supposedly dying.
Yeah. Well, you didn't though.
No, but that was the thing that everyone's like, oh, well, you know, he's not showing up, and there's supposed to be this emotional thing for Karen and Foggy. No, but it was expected. The way they were setting that up, they expected everybody to kind of be, I'm like, guys, like, you said a new season is coming. Like, why would you even start? It's like Justice League and killing. We knew Justice League was coming, and they, spoilers, Batman v Superman, they supposedly kill off Superman at the end of that one. It's like, no, like, there's no emotional like weight to that, because I don't believe you.
Okay. No, that's fair.
So that was a big thing for me.
For me, I'm like, how are they going to do it? What are they going to do in Daredevil 3? Like, that's because I knew he wasn't going to die either. It was like, he's going to have some type of ending, you know, Elektra.
Just have Daredevil come back and not Matt Murdock?
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen either. Well,
so here's the thing.
His mom's, he woke up in the freaking
Maggie,
nurse thing with Maggie. Yeah. So who knows? But
if they say like his death is what finally inspires Iron Fist to put on a tracksuit and actually do something in New York.
He's like, I'm going to get a tracksuit.
Is that still going to hold weight once it's like, well, he didn't actually die?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think
and
it's about.
How did he not die with an entire, like, this is how we're shutting down the entirety of the hand.
Yeah.
Right? This is what the goal is, right? We're shutting down the hand. But Daredevil makes it out alive when an entire building. But we shut down the hand.
Elektra and Daredevil make it out.
Well, sure.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's comics, dude. Like, you don't want Daredevil. Did you want Daredevil to die?
No. But he didn't need to. Just have him get out of there. Like, that's what I'm saying.
There was something.
Then it didn't take down the hand. Like, don't set it up as a victory. Don't set it up as a victory that it took down the hand when it didn't take down a guy that doesn't have, quote unquote, the substance. We didn't even talk about how stupid that sounds. And he still makes it out alive.
Yeah.
Unless it's the dragon bones that like keep him alive and now he can't die.
No.
Which would be worse.
They're not going to go there.
I'm just saying, I'm looking for consistency. I'm not mad that he made it out alive, but I'm like, don't say that this accomplished this huge thing, but this normal guy made it out.
Jessica Jones being like, I thought you freaking died. Dang it. You know, anyways. Okay. So let's, anything else about like Danny Rand or anything?
Danny Rand. He's still like, his moves were better, but they were still pretty slow.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But
especially when next to Daredevil, because that.
But when he fought Daredevil, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it had some good moments, and it for sure, like, I will give you, like, improvement was definitely there.
Yeah. Dude, when Daredevil shows up, and like, was it episode 6? Is it the end of 5 where he shows up there, like, in the parking garage or something, and he shows up? Oh, it was cool. Like, every time he's in that suit, it was awesome.
Yeah, well, he showed up at that, like, it was a parking garage, and then they went up to that, like, dining room or whatever, and threw the guy, like, over the.
Because I was getting pissed, dude. I was like, better freaking show up in his suit, you know? Because remember in the trailers, you see him like with the scarf around his face, which I actually really liked.
That was pretty funny.
She was like, "You look better with the scarf." But I really like the interactions with. I like Kristen Ritter. She's really good. So like she has a really good. She does that character really well. You know?
Yeah,
she did good. I don't want to keep saying she did good, but she really made me think that she's a real person. her and Charlie Cox, dude. Like, their chemistry's good, and I was actually really excited to see how they were going to interact.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I thought the scene of them like following each other.
Yeah,
was really great.
Yeah, that was cool. And it wasn't super contrived either. Like the only thing that I felt was contrived of them all getting together was Rosario Dawson, and I love me some Rosario Dawson. Like, I'm #1 fan club. I was there, Josie and the Pussycats, when she was a drummer. I was there, but I just felt like that's a coincidence. Like, man, we got to fight the Hand, and this whole architect guy, and you need to talk to this guy, and then like, wait, what? Like, I can see.
Well, I mean, that was after they had already run into each other, though.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because I actually thought that was good. The way that Danny and Luke came across each other, I was like, oh,
yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool how those converged.
Yeah.
I think similarly for Matt and Jessica.
Yeah, well, Matt being brought in, as the, her legal defense and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it works.
So foggy,
it works in the confines of the show. So I don't have too much of an issue, but it was just like, man, it would be like, wait, I know you and you, what? That's crazy. And they all happen to have like.
I'm the one connecting point between all these awesome people.
That's amazing. You're an amazing person. But maybe Rosario Dawson has that power. So, and she's also Batgirl in Lego Batman. So,
which is pretty great.
Okay, so moving on to like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. I liked a lot of that. That made me think of
their interaction.
Oh, dude.
Where it felt like there's something there, but it's not like hubba every time. Do you know what I mean? It was like, but it was great.
I loved at the end. She's like, yeah, maybe we'll get some coffee. And he's like, what? He like stops.
I totally missed that.
Did you miss that?
I missed that.
He's basically saying, yeah, maybe we'll see each other again. She's like, yeah, maybe we'll get some coffee or something. And he's like,
that's so funny. I didn't catch that at all.
I caught that. I was
because
laughing,
she doesn't have the context for that. That's great.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh,
she doesn't know what it looked like for him and Rosario to get some coffee. That breaks her one.
Dude, Rosario has no money, dude. She's living out of the whole apartment.
And he's breaking all
her IKEA tables, dude. Come on, Luke. Anyways, he's like, I'm the hero that Harlem needs, dude. You need to go to freaking IKEA and buy a new table, dude. So, really like them. I like Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. My wife watched like the first episode with me. She's like, he's a really big guy. She was just like, how tall is that? Man, I don't know how tall he is, but
look up his stats.
Yeah, look him up, babe. Jeez, but it was cool seeing him again. Like, I was like, oh yeah, he's been around 3 times now because he's been in Jessica Jones and his show and now this, and so it's cool. Like, he's just Luke Cage now. This thing made me wish they're gonna show up in Avengers 4 or something, dude. I'm like,
oh yeah,
how can they not, dude? How can these characters not show up? It would be an amazing, dude. If they're in Avengers 3, that'd be amazing. Like, if they just were able to hide it somehow, I would love it. I doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but I would love to see that.
I doubt that.
I would love to see it, dude. So when they're fighting at the end, I don't know what the heck Wu-Tang song it was, but they mentioned Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, in the song.
Oh, that's funny.
I forget what it was. It was like,
I didn't catch that. And then earlier when he and Danny were fighting people, it was a Run the Jewels song, right?
I think so.
Which was great. I was like, cool. Like, it felt like a good vibe. I think you noticed that even, not just musically, you notice the different kind of styles colliding, but you have lighting cues and stuff, like the color of the scenes. Yeah. And then you have, when they're in the Royal Dragon, you have all 4 of those colors represented, which I thought was kind of cool. Because definitely each of their stories, before they all converged, each had their kind of signature story. I mean, their signature color, rather.
I love when they would cut to a scene, they would do these really cool cuts. Like, it was like the film was like rolling backwards and stuff. First few times I'm like, that can be annoying, but it was actually really cool every time they cut through scenes.
It was a transition that worked well. And then there were other ones where I was like, oh, that actually was good. Because I think there was one where Luke was like put on his hood as he was like walking up the stairs or something like that. And it cut to Jessica taking her hood off, like walking up the stairs. I was like, nice. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, nice little transitions, dude.
How'd you feel about the title sequence?
I didn't like it. You liked it. I saw
you
did. Like,
I thought it was cool. I didn't like love it. Like, oh, I'm going to watch this every time. Like, every time the skip intro
I
button came
definitely
up, I
skipped it.
for sure skipped it every other time. But I just thought I was like, oh, I can see like you're trying to bring in each of these characters. You're trying to bring in New York. Like I get
like
that.
that. I didn't like the song. I thought they were going to do the Come As You Are.
I'm glad they didn't do Come As You Are. Man.
Really?
I didn't like it for the
I was
promotional
hoping
stuff.
it just didn't feel like still at the bottom. Like I still think Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are my favorite intros.
Yeah. Daredevil though.
Daredevil's is
so good.
I feel like it's so long though.
It is.
It's all
of them are.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It has like the braille and stuff, but like and then Iron Fist sounds like freaking Tron music. It sounds,
Oh gosh,
like
yeah,
Daft
that was not
Punk.
good. Did you notice? Speaking of Daredevil's music, that's what he started to play at the piano
Was that what
in
he
that
said?
scene.
That's cool. See,
Right?
You got me on that one, dude.
Dude, little things like that are super cool.
Yeah, that was cool, dude.
How'd you feel about supporting characters coming back?
Foggy was great. He looked better too. I liked him, the shorter hair.
Yep. He looked more like Foggy to me.
Yeah, I felt like he was way more Foggy in this. Like, really, really was excited for him to be back. It was like, cool, that's good.
Yeah.
You know,
I've always liked him. I know other people haven't liked him as part of the show, and
I
I've
always
always
liked him.
thought he's been good.
you know, Jon Favreau was like Foggy in the original movie,
Oh, yeah.
and he was great. Like, dude, I want to see Jon
He was
Favreau come
a
back as
really
Foggy.
good Foggy.
Like, he was my. He just really nailed like Foggy's character. Like, you know.
Just this flustered and
yeah.
just like
there was a line he had where he was like, you know, if I want to pay my rent, I can't, like, you know, I don't know, dude, do the cha-cha, like I gotta, you know, because they kept taking these pro bono cases. But anyways, neither here nor there. Like, I can't think of the guy who does it in the show. What's his name? But yeah, really good. I like him as Foggy. He had that one line I was telling you earlier. Favorite thing was he said, superhero Joan Jett made me laugh so hard.
Yes.
I don't know why. Oh, dude, I totally missed what he said about Luke Cage, but he said superhero or superpowered Joan Jett.
that was really good.
Yeah. So yeah, he was good. And then Karen Page. Okay, so I have a theory. About Karen Page.
Go.
So Charlie Cox kind of hinted at they're going to do Born Again as the series.
Let's be fair. He
Okay.
said he doesn't know, like that they might incorporate parts of it, but they don't follow anything completely.
Yeah.
But the thing he did confirm is that last shot of Matt Murdock lying down in there is a callback to that comic.
So,
but if they do incorporate that,
yeah. I mean,
and that was Frank Miller.
Yeah, it's Frank Miller. It was like a long time ago, like
86. Yeah.
Which I have all of those except one of them.
Oh, dude, we gotta figure that out.
We gotta get that. I think it's 233. I need the last part.
Okay.
So, like the last two issues are kind of like part of it, but not really. So, anyways, in that story, like Karen Page, you know, she goes to LA to be an actor and stuff. Anyway, she ends up being like freaking like adult film actress, and she's all strung out, and she sells Daredevil's identity to Kingpin.
Oh, dang.
For money and all that stuff. And so obviously that's not going to happen in season 3. She's not going to lose her job at the newspaper and stuff. So I'm thinking what they may do, this is just me speculating, like, because she's really pissed that he becomes Daredevil again.
Yeah, she wasn't happy that it happened again.
So I'm wondering if they'll
But
do
she also
something-
thinks he's dead.
That's true. But like if he comes back and she's like, oh my gosh, you're doing this again. I wonder if they'll do something where she puts him in a situation where Kingpin finds out his info, and so they don't 100% adapt the story like to the T, but it's kind of inspired. That was all, just because like, man, she's really like, they're really putting it on hard that she doesn't want him to be Daredevil.
Right.
You know, and she's like, he didn't have to do that, and you know, he shouldn't have, and Foggy felt bad about it and all that stuff. So I'm wondering if they go that direction with it. I really do. So we'll see.
All right.
Anyways,
yeah,
she was good.
I mean, I thought it was fine. Like she's not quite at the Felicity Smoke level, but I feel like she's
not even
wading
close.
into that territory for me. Honestly,
Really?
This season I was like, man, like you're kind of a downer. Like whenever you're in there.
Oh, she's definitely a downer, but I don't think she's Felicity Smoke.
No, I just said she wasn't.
No, I know, but like she's not even. But you brought her up, inferring that she could get there.
I think she could.
Oh man. Misty Knight. What about Misty Knight?
Oh, Misty Knight, dude. They teased us in Luke Cage season 1 about her possibly losing her arm.
Yeah.
And now that thing got sliced.
So do you think she gets together with Danny Rand? Dude, he did hook her up at the hospital that he owns. A sweet place.
I mean, I don't see it happening with how either of those characters are being characterized right now.
I see
him
her
and Colleen
slapping him.
seem pretty solid still.
Yeah.
I think there's part of me, like, I would like to see it just because it is such an unlikely couple.
Yeah.
Like, I'm open to it happening, but man, that would take some time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's like ends up spending time with her, like as she's rehabilitating or helps her get a bionic arm, I mean,
yeah,
because I don't see Tony Stark being the one to get her a bionic arm in this universe.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It's going to be Rand Tech or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that changes things a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think that he and Luke are where they are at in the comics. And I wouldn't have wanted them to get there that quickly.
Okay, so
because they got to put in the time.
They are really trying to hint, though, like with Luke. He was like, Danny, calm down. There was a lot of that. Danny, calm down. Hey, relax, man. Like this, like, why do you care about him all of a sudden so much? Just they're really trying to. I did kind of like the, hey man, we should be a team. He's like, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
He's just shutting him down, dude.
I feel like there was times where I was like, I wonder if they're trying to plant the seeds for Heroes for Hire a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because was it Claire that was like, you can't just keep doing this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And to think about like making a living and that kind of stuff. I feel like she brought up like making a living or something like that. And
but
I'm like, dude, you can't keep doing this stuff for free.
Danny Rand doesn't need to make a living. He's got money.
That's true.
So unless he loses everything and then he's like,
yeah, and then we're in Arrow territory again.
Yeah, again. It's like, oh man, he is Arrow.
He basically is.
He's Arrow.
Sad.
But yeah, I think that there's season 2 of Luke Cage, season 2 of Iron Fist, and then they do Heroes for Hire.
I would love that.
We'll see what happens.
And Daughters of the Dragon.
Daughters of the Dragon. It's Moon Knight and some other
so
shows.
You had, dude,
Sigourney Weaver.
Would be rad. Other supporting characters, because it'll just be real quick.
Yeah.
Is we have Jessica Jones supporting characters, right?
Yeah, we had what's her name from the Matrix? She was Hogarth.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I was even thinking of her. She was good. But you had
Malcolm.
I know they don't call her Patsy. She goes by Trish, right?
Yeah.
Trish Walker, and then Malcolm.
She was wearing the colors of
Hellcat.
Hellcat.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. I think they kind of missed an opportunity there to develop those characters a little more. But I get it. There's a lot of people in the show.
Yeah.
They were neither here nor there. I think it's
Jessica Jones.
I like Malcolm. I thought it was cool. He had a cool story arc from Jessica Jones season 1, and to see him just kind of being a regular part of her life.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone had the only people that didn't really have well, actually everyone had someone from the supporting cast in there. That's right. Luke Cage had Misty, and it was cool because
Danny had Colleen and
Matt
quite
had
a few
his people.
You had Bakudo and the other people from The Hand.
That's true.
But sorry, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. I didn't care for her so much.
So her acting was great.
Yeah.
She's a great actress. I think you could tell that from the first moment she was in there. You're like, oh, okay, like I can take her seriously.
Yeah.
She's not Finn Jones.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, there wasn't that much to her character other than like she's the leader and she's been alive a long time.
Yeah, there was nothing about
There's
her that was
literally
menacing.
nothing else.
She was just like, I'm powerful. And
when she first like took down Elektra,
yes,
that was cool.
Yeah, but not as cool as like Madame Gao taking people out. Seeing her fight was awesome.
And like taking down like doors and stuff. Like
I was like, what the heck? I didn't expect that, but
I'm glad she escaped to fight another day.
Yeah. So when Elektra kills, spoiler, Alexandra,
dude, that one got me.
I was like, what? Like if you go on my Twitter feed, I'm just like, what? Elektra? I don't know what I put, but go back and you'll see there's something I'm just like, I say something about Elektra. That's exactly when I watched that scene. I was like, I need to let the world know that Elektra surprised me. That's crazy. So, okay, what did you think about Elektra? Because I didn't really care for her so much in Daredevil season 2, but I I really liked her in this.
This was closer to the Elektra that I would think of.
Mhm.
You know, I think of the character of Elektra in
Yeah.
general. The whole Black Sky thing was a huge letdown, I feel like.
Really?
Because it was such a big deal from Daredevil season 1 and season 2, and thinking like, oh my gosh, we can't let them do the Black Sky. Like, we can't let it happen because we're screwed if it does. And then it happened, and you're like, well, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And she ended up not really doing much anyway.
Because she had love for Daredevil.
Yeah, no.
You know, little Daredevil babies. Dude, you know that she was almost Wonder Woman? Well, she was at least up for the role of Wonder Woman.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Sure.
know.
I mean, she's you could tell, like, she can do the choreography and the fight stuff, like, really well.
She actually knows karate. She has a black belt. So there's, like, I read up on her a little bit. And so she has a little bit of, like, skill in that. So it wasn't like...
And you could tell.
Yeah.
I think it shows.
She was no Finn
But
Jones, but...
Character-wise...
she was no Danny Rand.
Just character-wise, I think the build-up to, like, oh my gosh, she's the Black Sky was kind of like, yeah. I don't know. How'd you feel about Elektra?
I liked her. Actually, that's what I was saying. I liked her better in this than I did in season 2 of Daredevil.
Okay.
There was some fun playfulness with her in Daredevil season 2, and then she just got old. Like, I was like, I lost interest in how they were portraying her, and yeah, so
Yeah, I think there was a slow burn with her character, and I was waiting for it to go somewhere, and it didn't really feel like it went anywhere other than her killing Alexandra and basically becoming the big bad of the series, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
that's
I
what I
thought was-
considered her.
yeah,
As soon
that's
as
what I
she
thought
took
was
out
cool.
Alexandra, I was like, oh,
Yeah, and
Alexandra is not the main villain.
Yeah, and then when she started fighting Danny Rand, that was cool.
That
Like
was
when
good.
she's flipping around. I just thought that that last fight in episode 8, it was really hard to follow because they had her fighting him, and then they had Luke Cage.
There's a lot going on, and the cuts, like, that's where the fast cuts. I was like, I'm a little lost.
Yeah, it was getting hard to follow. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to juxtapose the two like fights, but it wasn't working for me, man. It was
No.
too much. And then there's parts of me like, okay, what's Jessica Jones' power level? Can she punch a fool in the face and kill him?
You
Because
would think so. Her and Luke.
yeah, exactly.
And they talked. They did address that for Luke, like about
Yeah.
him holding back.
Yeah, because Daredevil, I mean, he was punching these ninjas in the face, taking them out, right? But so is Luke Cage, and so is Jessica Jones. I'm like, just freaking kill these fools.
Yeah, you should.
I know
be able to
they're
smash people
like
right now.
these immortal ninjas. You should be able to kill them, and because there's
Yeah.
times where she throws giant things, and I don't know. But it was cool to end seeing her kind of flying. Like she's flying,
jumping.
right?
Well,
Yeah,
she
jumped
jumped
and
up
she's holding
to
the cable.
get the.
I thought she was
jumped
floating,
up,
wasn't she?
She jumped up. No, she wasn't floating. She was like holding on to the two sides of the cable.
Oh, well, never mind. I thought she was flying. I was like, was she
No,
hovering?
She probably just like jumped.
She can fly or jump or. Anyways,
Really big jumps.
big jumps.
Big jumps, huh?
Big jumps. Huh? Yeah, that's where I was going.
Well,
Yeah. Big jumps, eh?
see you later.
Yeah. So that's if I had to make a quibble, it was like, where's her power levels at?
Yeah.
Luke Cage, come on.
Yeah.
He should have just been like destroying people, man.
Yeah. They at least addressed it with him, which
Yeah.
I appreciate. So the other thing I want to talk about was just the hand was like a big part of this, obviously. After being in both seasons of Daredevil, in Iron Fist, like, obviously we knew this was building to the hand being kind of the main deal. How'd you feel that payoff was?
It was interesting. It was kind of cool to see the stuff from Iron Fist run into the stuff from Daredevil, and then having Stick. Like I really like Scott Glenn as Stick. Like I was kind of bummed that he died, But I also hope.
I feel like I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah,
I felt like him and Claire were both gonna die.
Yeah.
And only he died.
Yeah.
Sad day.
But I just kind of like.
And Misty's arm.
I like leathery old dudes that can just say whatever they want, Like
I just like leathery old dudes.
that's like take that clip and do what you want with it. Yeah, he's just a guy, like, he can say whatever he's salty. He can just say whatever he wants, and you're kind of like, that's Stick. He just
True.
I can't wait till I can do that, one
You
day,
can beat that guy.
30 years from now, I'm going to be able to just say whatever the heck I
You're
want.
kind of already that guy on Twitter.
Just kind of that guy on Twitter. Like, hey, not all the time.
It's going to be the curmudgeon.
It's usually in jest and fun, and it's arousing.
Did you say it's arousing?
No, I did not say it. It's like arousing. Like, hey, it's
just
not
said
arousing. Hopefully, it's not arousing. So, yeah. Anyways, the hand payoff. Yeah, I was good. I thought it was a good end. It's when buildings fall on bad guys, they can come back, but I feel like we don't need to address the hand anymore. Like Daredevil can move into other villains. He can move into Bullseye.
Oh, please, Bullseye.
And then
that needs to happen.
Iron Fist
man.
can. I don't know what Iron Fist can do. Iron Fist can go fight other people.
Steel Serpent.
There you go, the Serpent of Steel. So do that.
Or the Tournament of the Living Weapons, or whatever, of the cities. Oh, dude,
you're more versed in
that was the
Iron
Matt
Fist.
Fraction Immortal Iron Fist series.
I read some of that too. I don't remember that.
Oh, dude, it was like a tournament, and so he was the one for Kunlun, and then each of the Heavenly Cities had their fighter. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of going to come back to that basic premise, for that type of a character. It's a kind of a classic kung fu kind of thing.
Well, I'm down. I'm down for that then.
For me, the hand, like, I feel like when you take the mystery away and you over-explain things, you kind of take away the menace of it and the fear out of it, I guess. And so for me, I'm like, oh, it's just these 5 guys, and they're kind of been running it, and they have substance to keep them alive, and you're calling it the substance. I kept waiting for that to be like a placeholder for like what we were going to find out it really was, and they still referred to it as the substance. I was like, wow. But I was like, wait, do you still need the substance? Because that guy died in Iron Fist and came back to life without the substance to bring him back to life. And so I think there were just those things. Once you start explaining something enough, you have to keep explaining it, and then you lose the mystery, and then stuff starts to kind of fall apart and not make sense as much. And in that, like, it kind of raised Bakudo up to like, oh, I didn't realize he was like a founding member of the Hand. Okay, like I didn't think he was that high level. And how did he come back if they used the last of the substance on Elektra?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, you guys don't even need to start explaining that, because once you start explaining that, then I'm going to have a lot more questions. Yeah. But if you say, hey, it's kind of this mysterious thing that we don't understand, cool. Like, I'll roll with it.
Like Daredevil surviving.
Consistency, man.
There you go.
Don't tell me you're taking down the Hand and then Daredevil makes it out. And then you have, and Madame Gao, like, felt like she was kind of like demoted a little bit.
Yeah,
in
she
this
did. She
series
was
to me.
definitely the henchwoman to Sigourney Weaver.
Because Daredevil, you're like, oh, like she's like kind of like powerful, but not really like taking charge. And then season 2, you're like, okay, she's still like pretty powerful. And then Iron Fist, you're like, oh, she's like a main person.
She's a threat.
And this one, I'm like, oh, now she's taking orders.
She got away though, so
she did get away.
Maybe she has a revenge.
Do you think that she's Crane Mother? People keep putting that out there.
I don't know.
You don't even know who
I don't
that
know
is.
Crane Mother. That's
whatever.
Iron Fist. Nah.
Yeah, it's an Iron Fist.
Go read that. What'd you think about the hallway scene in episode 4?
It was good. It wasn't as good as the other hallway scenes, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. I mean, nothing's going to beat Daredevil 1 and 2. And that Luke Cage
Daredevil
one.
season 1. For me, Daredevil season 1, that hallway scene was better than the stairwell in season 2.
Oh, for sure. But I thought season 2 was a good, like,
it was still good. It was a good
still
callback.
a good one. And the Luke Cage one was good. Just
I liked that.
Yeah. A lot of people, he doesn't fight. He's a different fighter. He's not a flippy kick guy.
He can't get hurt. Like, he's going to... I loved that. Whenever he would fight, like, whether it was in Jessica Jones, the bar fight, or episode 1 even of Luke Cage, where he's just kind of like taking the hits and then flicking people away. Yeah. Like, that's just how he fights, because he can.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was good. It was.
I like how Jessica Jones was like, "Am I the only person that doesn't know karate or something like that?"
Yeah, that again, Kristen Ritter, she's great. Like, her delivery of everything she says that's just a fun role to have, dude. I bet you that role is fun to play.
You get to be as snarky as you want.
Yeah, like can you have more snark?
Be more snark.
Be more snarky.
So, I mean, did you have any other stuff? Because I was thinking we could talk about where each of the characters ended up at the end of this, and maybe guesses on where.
I was gonna say, what was your favorite episode, and then we can go.
Ooh, It's probably 4 or 6. Like whenever Daredevil showed up and him and Jessica Jones fought in that restaurant, I thought that was probably one of my favorite moments. But just them interacting in episode 4 was so great. Like, I think it just highlighted the strengths of each of those characters, even Danny Rand. And I think that was like a bright point specifically for his character before he kind of went back to petulant, like a little more of the man-child kind of thing of like, no, you guys can't keep me from fighting. Yeah. Like, I'm like, dude, you're being such an idiot right now.
Yeah, he was being a wiener.
All these other people telling you, like, this is how we should do it, and you're, like, still stuck on doing things that way.
I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
Oh, dude, I love how Colleen was like, and you tell that to anyone who will listen. So I'm like, so maybe wear a mask, a-hole.
Yeah, right? My favorite was
Let a stuntman get in there.
Dude. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right, dude. At least put a tracksuit on. That would have been cool.
Well, he did at the very end.
Well, yeah.
When he was on the roof.
When he has the, like, his, I liked his, he was actually showing his tattoo.
That's true.
So, I liked episode 4. I liked them all kind of eating dinner and stuff like that. It was really cool. But I will say, episode 6, when
I'm trying to remember which episode it was.
Daredevil. Whenever Daredevil shows up, that
finally
it made me
in
excited.
Stupid costume.
Because it was cool seeing him. I was like, yeah, Daredevil. Because Daredevil is my guy. He's my number one Marvel guy. Like,
just in general, or you would say for the Netflix stuff, you mean?
No. In general, of the Marvel like pantheon of characters, Daredevil is my guy.
Yeah.
And my son says his name is so funny. He calls him Daredevil. Daredevil. Like, he goes, ooh.
Puts the emphasis in.
Yeah. Is Daredevil in it?
Daredevil.
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 Daredevil. I'm like, it's Daredevil, buddy. Daredevil. I was like, okay. Daredevil.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So whenever Daredevil showed up, I was super pumped. And then at the end, I was like, he took his mask off. He had to do it. Which I understood.
That. Which hated it.
I knew it was coming. He had to. I was like, if you keep your mask on, the rocks won't fall on your head and you won't die. That's how he survived. So, all right. Yeah. So where the characters are at. What do you think?
So that was interesting because you have Danny Rand obviously is one of the more obvious ones. Well, I mean, Daredevil is the most obvious one. Looked like he was dead. Wakes up in some sort of convent, right?
Yeah.
And they call for someone named Maggie, which
this is his mom.
Probably was his mom who became a nun and whose name is Maggie.
Maggie.
So that's where he's left going into Daredevil season 3, which I think is an interesting spot because it's like, whoa, where are you going from there? And he looked really beat up.
Yeah, he was jacked. When you survive something like that,
an entire high-rise building falling on top of you.
Hey, man, he probably jumped to the side.
The dinosaur bones, like, just kind of like hid beneath one of those.
He's like, the tar pits are here.
What? I don't know what that means. Oh, man. And you have Danny Rand, like, on a rooftop with one glowing fist.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for him to, like, can you just use both of them?
Yeah, maybe that's season 2. It's all Iron Fist season 2. It's just both
2
hands.
fists.
Maybe they're saving it.
I wouldn't hate
that. I wouldn't hate that. So yeah, he's just like hanging out in the skeleton frame and just hanging out, waiting. At the end of the episode, isn't he kind of hanging out and like
not in a skeleton frame?
It's
he's on a rooftop. The skeleton frames got buried with Daredevil.
I thought he was hanging out inside all that stuff. So
no, he was on a rooftop listening for like sirens and stuff, and then he fired up his one fist. It's
Iron Fist, not Iron Fists. There you go.
Boo.
My chi. Every time he talked about his chi, dude, I was like, "Stop talking about your chi, dude."
I love that. Like
all,
Luke, like didn't even care. He's like, "What? Like this is dumb."
That's not a thing.
Was that Matt Murdock? He was like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And then you have Jessica Jones finally taking the paper off her new
door that got fixed. Yeah.
And so Alias Investigations back open, ready for season 2.
I thought her place was going to be all done up. Like someone, which would have been really dumb.
That would have been really dumb.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh, don't be all like state of the art and like a note from Danny Rand or something. Like, hey,
boo.
my chi paid for this or something stupid.
My chi.
Like I liked seeing
Paid for
Malcolm.
and cheap.
Was it Malcolm? Is that what was his name?
Mhm.
Yeah, I liked seeing him trying to fix like the bullet holes and just kind of being like, he's basically her Robin. He's gonna be there, help her out, and like
Yeah,
So I like-
which
I
is
like
fine.
seeing
Like
that.
he's a good character.
yeah,
And then you have Luke Cage, just trying to figure out what he's going to do. The hero of Harlem.
yeah, cool.
And Misty Knight is
Yeah, her
actually
arm.
left in an interesting spot where they're like, what the heck's going to happen?
Yeah, her arm's gone. Who knows?
She seemed real bummed about, missing an arm.
She didn't at all. She was like, she
what?
didn't seem
Yeah, she
bummed.
was.
She
Because she was like, yeah, are they going to help you? And she's like, I don't know. Like, she was like really bummed.
I feel like she made a dumb joke. Like,
no.
I-
No,
I-
she seemed like super depressed about like, she didn't even know if she's going to be able to still be a cop anymore.
she can be a cop with one arm. Axe cop. So, anyways,
How
yeah,
many one-armed cops do you know?
Misty Knight. That's all I need to know.
No, she's got two arms, man. In the comics,
See?
she's got a freaking bionic arm. That's all we
Yeah.
need, man.
So,
I don't see when there's no good fit for when that happens. What show are you going to put that in? Hey, here's a robot arm. How's that going to
it's
fit?
episode 2 of Luke Cage.
Definitely not Luke Cage.
So Lucy Liu is.
That'll be Iron Fist because she's in season 2 of Iron Fist. I think they said.
Oh, is she?
hmm
Because they're gonna get hook up, dude. She's like, all right.
She's going to take out Colleen.
She is, dude. Everyone's gonna change because Luke Cage is gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get, because we all know he's gonna end up with Jessica Jones.
Yeah. So Claire's got to die. They're not going to like break up. Like
Yeah.
that's going to be weird.
Claire's gonna die, dude. She's gonna join the DC universe. She's gonna be like the Joker in another Joker movie. She's gonna play the Joker.
Joker in the future. They'll do a
she's gonna play
Batman
Joker.
Beyond.
There you go, dude.
All of their extra movies in the DCEU are going to be Batman related.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
So
All right.
it was.
Any final thoughts for?
Yes, it was "Protect Your Neck" was the song from the Wu-Tang
Protect Your
Clan
Neck.
in the big battle. So just getting that in there. Yeah, no, I really liked it. It made me excited about Marvel, which it's not like I'm never excited about it, but it was cool. Like after Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Spider-Man: Homecoming, Defenders, it was good to watch. And thinking about that's weird, but it's in that same world.
Yeah.
And it made me really like excited for what's next. And so I wasn't disappointed at all. It wasn't as high as like Daredevil, but it was like, this is good, right? I wasn't.
Yeah, I would say like for me, I was thinking it doesn't like
I wasn't bummed about it.
it doesn't grow like my appreciation for these Netflix shows. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh man, that pushed me to the next level, but I feel like it kind of brought me back or like recentered me after Iron Fist, kind of leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Like it reminded me, I'm like, oh man, I really like these characters. I think that's what it was. Like it kind of like balanced everything back out, but it didn't like propel me forward and
Yeah.
like, oh man, I'm so pumped about all these shows. To where even like seeing the Punisher trailer at the very end of episode 8,
Okay, I
the
was
credits and
Yeah, I
stuff
was gonna get that.
I was like, oh, that's coming. That's probably gonna be good.
That's gonna be really good. I think. I'm really excited for
That
it.
thing's gonna be brutal.
I just thought like, why are you breaking the ground?
Yeah, just
That's
hitting the
weird.
concrete and it just happens to be in the shape of a skull. Yeah, that's weird, man.
It's not as bad as like the one with John Travolta where Thomas Jane blows up the cars in the skull formation. Like it looks cool, but like
Oh, there were good moments of that movie though.
there was actually some good moments. Like I like
Justin and I go way back. Like we've watched major Punisher movies together.
we watched Punisher Warzone together, but
We didn't watch the Thomas Jane one together?
I don't think so. But there was
man.
good. I liked when he was hanging out with like his neighbors. Like I liked the neighbors because it was inspired by the Welcome Back Frank, which that was a really cool story.
Yeah, that was the best stuff. Like
Yeah.
when he was with his neighbors and trying to...
Even him fighting the Russian, like as goofy as the
Yes.
Russian was.
No,
it
was
was,
great.
dude, and freaking that was Diesel, dude, from Kevin Nash from WWF.
Oh, nice.
WCW. Anyways, I liked that fight and that whole sequence was really good. It being based in Florida was weird. Sorry, we're talking about a movie
sure.
from like 2003.
But we watched Warzone and that was awesome because he punched
That
the
was-
dude's face in.
Punched his face.
Just face caved in with one
Dude,
punch.
Frank Grillo was a great looking He looked like Punisher, you know.
That wasn't
and-
Frank Grillo.
Not Frank Grillo. Sorry,
Ray Stevenson.
Bonesaw. He's not Bonesaw.
He was Jigsaw.
He was
Ray
Stevenson.
Ray Stevenson was the Punisher.
Was the Punisher. Frank Grillo was Crossbones. Sorry.
Crossbones, dude. Not the same. Skeleton themed.
I was thinking of the guy from the Warriors 3, so because he's also the dude in Thor.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, he was a good
Volstagg.
Punisher. I thought he was a good Punisher. So, but yeah, that Thomas Jane one. Maybe we should do commentaries for all comic book movies. We should
my gosh, dude.
That would be fun.
I don't think people are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready, actually.
Let's do it. We should totally do it. All right.
So last thing for the Defenders.
Yeah.
I think it's similar to like what we do with MCU movies.
Oh, where do I
Should we say if this broke into our top 5? I mean, there's only been 6 of them, so the chances are pretty good.
6 of the MCU.
Netflix Marvel shows.
Yeah.
Where does this fall for you?
Wow.
How about we'll do top 3?
No,
Since there's only been 6 shows.
I mean, it's really obvious. Okay, let's just all agree. Iron Fist is 6. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Daredevil.
As number 1?
Yeah. Daredevil season 2. Luke Cage, Defenders, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist.
So you had Daredevil season 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was your third one?
Luke Cage,
then Defenders, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist.
Yeah, right.
Exactly my ranking. I was thinking.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There we
go. With Luke Cage and Daredevil. Actually, I would put Daredevil season 2 at the top for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
The Punisher and some of those other elements like really made that compelling, and you already had Kingpin and a couple other characters established, and so I felt like it moved them forward into a really good spot. Like that, those scenes with Kingpin in the
jail,
in the prison.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
But for me, Luke Cage season 1 and Daredevil season 1 are like neck and neck for me. I really liked Luke Cage season 1.
Nice.
I felt like the issues it had were the same issues that Daredevil had. So
cool.
As all of them do.
I agree.
So the Defenders, I think we both agreed it was a let's go.
Yeah.
Go check that out. I mean, if you've listened to all of these spoilers and us talking about all the details, hopefully you've already seen it.
Oh yeah, dude. So cool, man.
Cool. I think that
was it.
This is a
pretty beefy episode.
Beefy.
It's full of
Justin.
Full of beef.
Beefy.
So I did want to do one last thing before we go.
Okay.
I've been wanting to add all my comic books into some type of list because I want to make sure hey, what do I have? And sometimes I was at that yard sale and I was like, what do I have? Because I ended up buying a couple issues that I already had, which is fine. It was some of the old Daredevils and it didn't cost me anything. So it's not like I'm stuck, I can trade them or something. So I was looking I used to use this one site and I don't want to pay for it. I wanted cheap, and I didn't want to make an Excel spreadsheet either. Yeah. But I found this site called StashMyComics.com, and it's awesome. It's free, and you get to use it. And we're not being paid. We're not being paid by any. If they want us, that's cool. But this is just on my own admittance and volition. And it's really cool. And you can customize as much as you want. You can actually tell them how much you paid for the comic, or it just assumes covered price if you don't tell them. And so mine isn't current yet because I've only put in. I have 20 to 30 something boxes of comics.
Wow.
Dude, it's stupid. I've only put 8 of my boxes in there, and 2 of them are long boxes.
Yeah.
And then I have a bunch called not boxed yet. And so my current totals are at 1,442 comics, and my current value is $8,806.
Is that money you've spent or what they're worth?
It says I paid $4,876.
Oh.
But it says my current value. So it's basically double. But I don't have all my stuff in there yet. And I want to be a little more meticulous and be like, this is what I paid. What's the value? And I tried when I knew it was a book that was special, I actually put in this is a good version, this is a bad version or whatever. And so and it's estimated. So anyways, it's good for insurance reasons. So if you ever have a flood or something, if you can prove, hey, this is what I have, why would you put all these random comic books in a database? But so it would help in something like that. So if you do have a big comic book collection, get them somewhere, have them logged somewhere. So it does help you prove like what you did have and all that stuff. But anyways, it's really cool. And they have covers and like, you know, it goes down to the minute of like, oh, do you have 27A or 27B? 27B is usually like direct. 27A is the newsstand edition, you know. So if you have a barcode on the cover, it's newsstand. If it's just like, anyways, nice. So it's cool. Check it out. I told Matt to do it. Like, gotta do it, dude. It's really cool. And so yeah. And
I'll make my way to that.
Yeah, check it out. So, all right, you guys, this is a long episode. Please hit us up on social media at Let's Go Comic Show on Twitter, Instagram, and you can go to our facebook.com/letsgocast. Have some conversations there. If you're like, I disagree with you about all of your thoughts, feel free to do that.
Let us know.
It'll be fun. And then you can also please, this is the best thing. This is the number. If you love us, if you love me and Matt Ritchie, like Matt Ritchie appreciates the Flash, go to iTunes and leave us a positive comment and 5-star review. That would be amazing. And then go to YouTube and say, hey, I'm going to subscribe to this page. We really need to get the YouTube subscribers up. That will help us out tremendously. Yeah. And remember, if
this is the last week for winning some swag.
Yeah, if you want to win some swag, you need to leave a review on iTunes and subscribe to the YouTube page, and you will win some free Let's Go Comic Show swag. So there you go. Matt, how can people find you on the internet?
That would be at Matt Ritchie, MattRichey.
There you go. And then you can find me at J_Rocket on Twitter. Leave me a comment or talk with me, and we can
argue about buds. Dark Knight Rises.
We can argue about Dark Knight Rises. Actually, I gave up on it. I'm done. I will no longer talk. I will no longer talk about the Dark Knight Rises. No, I'm done. We did a 2-episode thing on Batman on film, and I'm done.
You got it all out of your system? Got it all in my
system. So if you want to talk about it, we'll go here and there, but no longer am I going to poke the bear. I'm good. And
except for when you did during this episode.
I can do that. I'm just not going to go on long 672 tirades about the Dark Knight. Oh, man. So I just can't do that. So, anywho.
Those threads on Twitter, those are real.
So, yeah, those are real things. Those are books. I need to make a PDF book one day and give it to everybody as a present.
There you go.
Merry Christmas. So
Merry Christmas, jerks.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, we sound super tired because we are.
It's been a good one, though. It was good to get back into it.
It was good. I know we were off last week, so we're making this one extra special. So, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.